What's up, good people? Hey, today I want to share a dream that came to me a little while ago. It was one of those dreams that was very involved, an epic tale, and had a theme or a message that was given within. I'm not sure what the message it is or how it relates, but it came through really loud and clear. This dream covers all the bases. There's a little bit of everything in here, but it ties together somehow. Um, you be the judge. Okay, the stream is called Second Chances. It was quite a staggering dream I had last night. It began with me lying down in my backyard looking up at the sky just before dusk. I closed my eyes, and when I reopened them, the sky had darkened. The clouds had cleared, and the stars were just beginning to show themselves. I was in for a treat. All the stars got brighter, and I noticed a comet-like feature run across the sky. I then saw two light features which looked like they had wings of sorts on their sides, and they hovered and moved across the sky. I thought to myself, those were something special, not just everyday light artifacts. They looked like they might be little alien ships. And then I noticed one of them dive down towards the ground behind my house. A bit later, I could see a swarm of little lights dancing up and down as they moved towards me. The sight was vaguely familiar. As they got closer, my excitement grew, and I could see that they were actually little tiny vehicles or ships surrounded by a bubble of some sort. I reached out and grabbed one for closer inspection. I was amazed at the little thing, the bubble, the ship, and the creature contained within. I began to think of taking it inside to show my friends, but I decided against that and let the little bubble ship free to fly back into formation. You see, this swarm of bubble ships was actually a colony. um, the one that I grabbed up front was like a soldier. It was bigger than the rest. And as the cloud formation moved through me or around me, I could see the king and the queen royalty ones bring up the rear. I was completely awestruck. Yet I kept getting the feeling that, I've been visited before by these little creatures or these ships. As they passed by, I heard a loud pop and I saw something fall out of the sky. I looked down and I could see closely something was wiggling in the grass. One of the bubble ships had apparently popped and a little lizard fell to the ground. I extended my hand to show the creature I meant no harm, and he sort of snapped his jaws at me, kind of like the way a dog or a cat will when they kind of bite you, but not really. They just kind of hold your hand in their mouth. Um, so I knew he was hungry. Thought came to me immediately, so I brought him inside to our house and fed him some food, or try to find some food for him. Once inside, my wife and friends saw him and began asking many questions. An intense discussion began. We fed the little alien lizard some strawberries and moved the discussion back outside where my neighbor apparently was listening to us and called the police. As soon as we heard the sirens, my friends and my wife, we jumped into our two cars and we headed out to a place we hoped could help find us and the little alien some help. During the trip, we stopped at a downtown inn or bar and for some food and some drinks. The bar was old but very busy. I began to tell my wife a story about how I'd once been to this bar and was sitting downstairs and felt a very, very powerful negative feeling or wave of energy that made me so unsettled I got up and tried to leave. But before I can finish the story to my wife, my other two friends kind of cut me off and were making fun of me as I was telling the story. They were very fond of my wife and they wanted to make themselves look better in her light. She was a celebrity apparently, and I was just a normal bloke, I figured. They weren't really good friends. They really only hung out with me to be closer to my wife. Anyway, they decided to go downtown or downstairs rather for a drink while my wife and I stayed upstairs. A little while later, the two friends rushed back upstairs and one of them confronted me about the story I was telling them earlier. He asked me what had happened again and where I was sitting when it happened. I told him right by the bar, right behind the men's bathroom, and he almost finished my sentences before I could actually speak them. He knew right where it was because he experienced the same thing. I told him when I felt the energy, I got up to leave, and right as I got close to the bathroom, a figure came out, or a mental image, or a flash, and it almost struck me with its fist. He told me that same thing had just happened to him, um, and he was looking at a way of trying to block the energy. He then revealed that the figure looked like a cowboy. He then told me that he thought the figure was trying to, what he was trying to do and where he came from. But before I could speak, my friend said he kept hearing a word over and over again, something about second chances or a second chance. The word or phrase resonated with me on all levels. My whole body tingled as I heard it. The word itself had just been on the tip of my tongue and the top of my head before my friend told me this. What was it? What did it mean? My body felt the deeper meaning, but my head had yet to catch up. At this point, we decided to pack up and head out of town. So we started driving back to our city down the high canyon roads toward our city below. My night had been strange already, but it was about to get much worse. As we turned round a narrow bend in the road, our headlights illuminated three scantily clad women walking along the roadway. Looking back, these women were dressed in what almost looked like American Indian garb. The canyon road was very narrow and just a little bit of room to squeeze by the women with the car, so we slowed down as we approached. Just then, the three women turned to us with a calm and inviting smile, their eyes glazed over, and they walked off the side of the Canyon Cliff Road. I was mortified. We all were. These women just jumped to their death for no reason at all. If you thought I was nervous about driving through narrow canyoning walls or roads then, you can imagine I was glued to my seat after seeing this. As the thoughts of the entire night, plus this, swirling through our minds, something happened to us as well. The word second chance, the little alien lizard, the cowboy ghost, those thoughts, and somehow all these events coming together for some reason. And it was affecting us all in a way I couldn't understand. Just then, I looked over at my friend who was driving, and his eyes glazed over as well. I was feared at what came next. I reached for my passenger side door, tried to jump out, but it was too late. My friend turned his head and the car into the direction of where the three women jumped off the cliff, and off we went down into the darkness. As we plummeted towards our death, I could see what happened with my wife's car up above us. It too jumped off the canyon road and followed our descent into death. At this point, I was watching the scene from above, and as I saw the cars crash into the ground below, I wondered what next. I mean, surely we're all going to die, but what next? I'm watching this all unfold, yes. I'm not actually in the car. My spirit isn't anyway. So what's the next scene? Instantly, I was transported back into the first person perspective in a room with all my friends. We awkwardly spoke to one another, but the only thing that kept coming up in our discussions was the concept of second chances. What does it mean? You tell me.